All right, welcome to the show, guys. I see Bubble here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I have switched on subscriber only mode to talk and this and that. I see Jubair here. Awesome. So the subscriber only mode is there just for a reason because I don't really want to have too many people asking too many questions. I'm not going to make this too long. Just a brief kind of a market update to see what's going on. And of course I might drop and show some Paradex in there as well, right? So a lot of people asking what is Paradex. You know what, guys, I think I got to make a habit of this every day. We'll probably talk a little bit about Paradex. I'll probably even bloody rebrand the channel as Paradex. We'll think about that, you never know. We've got Costana. His friend is making us the logos and everything for us, so that's going to be insane, insane, insane. Right, so let's go straight into the content and see what's going on, how things are working out. Let's have a look at all of this stuff. So market itself today looks grim, right? Bad, 2%, 2.5%, 3.5%. Very bloody on the sol and the dop. Oh my god! I mean, if you look at dot, AVAX, Solana, these are the ones that pumped the hardest recently. They're down. Damn, that's scary. But anyway, don't worry, nothing to get too scared about. We're looking at Hex. My god, Hex is doing a nice little comeback. Of course, it's nowhere near its all-time high, but nevertheless, a 27% pump, not bad. Good luck to those who got some Hex. Mana does a 32% pump today. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Even HBAR surprises people by doing a nice little 7-8%. So you can see some of the boys who didn't pump recently started to make a move right now. So that's awesome. Guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe, hit that like button. And also if you subscribe, then you can actually talk on the thing. I am taking subscriber questions or anything, any coins or whatever they're talking about. Just not everybody, because I don't want to drag this for too long, because I can go into explanations a lot, and I do this quite often where I've come in for like 5 minutes and then I'm here for like 45 minutes and everyone's like, dude, you're too long, and I'm like, guys, but I've got so many questions I have to answer. What can I do? I see Free Energy here. Awesome, my brother. I did see your message, Free Energy. I'm not sure if I replied or not, because there's so many messages I receive, especially the private ones, and it's kind of hard for me to keep up with all of them. So if I've missed anybody's private messages, apologies, apologies. So far so good. Let's move straight into the content and continuously observe what's going on. So of course, Crypto Bubbles is telling us that the 24-hour best performance was obviously, Mana compared to everybody else. Sandy's also doing very good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's have a look at the volume. Who's had the best volume? USDT, obviously. Yesterday was sitting at 70, today at 86 billion, because the money leaving these two are sitting in here. So we know that money's going to come in and pump somewhere else. So we'll keep an eye on this stuff. Not an issue. Let's look at the fear and greed. Yesterday we were at 77. Let's refresh and see what this shows us. 74. So it's still hovering around that 70 to 80 range. That doesn't change anything. That just creates more confusion. More confusion. We did see BTC come into the market yesterday. Let's have a look and see what's happening. Boom. Complete opposite. It's like the double the opposite. So the market dumps, and then you have almost double the amount leave. So that was basically big whales out there fishing, literally, right? So shake out a few weak hands, take some BTC off the market. I did see some massive buy purchases, like coins moving from Coinbase, Binance, and all of that on the whale alerts. In case you're asking what the whale alerts is, you can go to Twitter and search whale alerts. You'll understand. So this one actually tells you where the whales are moving money. There's a one for the entire market, and there's actually one specifically for Ethereum, and many others are popping up as well. I think it's the same group of people, but super awesome. So let's refresh this and see what this is showing us as well. All right, and I'll show you some other charts as well. So this showing nothing too much, very similar to yesterday. As you can see, it's like moving in a little bit of a sideways pattern. Absolutely fine. So compared to the amount of BTC that entered, only a few left compared to this, right? So it's okay. It's okay. We're not panicking. We're here. Hodlers are always going to win. So that yesterday you were up 4%. And you can see how just after refreshing it, we're down, and we're currently sitting at $2.7 trillion market cap. I told you the volume just looks pathetic. Even now, I mean, look at it. It's just ridiculous. 1.28, including all the buys and sells. That's bad. So Also, let me just check the chat, guys. Give me a second. Let me just quickly check the chats. So I see quite a few people watching. Awesome. Thank you very much for coming to the show. Please do consider subscribing. That would be really awesome. Right. So market dumps a little bit. What does all of this mean? I think that's the key right now. What we need to see is not just the buy and sells. We need to understand, where are we right now? What phase are we in right now? Are we in the distribution phase? Means, currently we're going to be selling a whole lot of the profits that we've made, or are we in a accumulation phase? It's very important to understand these two phases as well, because every day we have these two phases, and it's a matter of which phase wins. And sometimes what happens is we don't have any accumulation phase. We go on for days and days and days, weeks and weeks sometimes. There has never been any accumulation phase. So then all of a sudden we hit the floor, right? And everyone starts panicking. And that's when we will shout and scream and say, buy the fucking dip. Because at the end of the day, you've just entered the accumulation phase. But obviously everyone's going to say, well, how do I find out? Well, I've got a solution for you. And you can do it completely for free. Okay, you can't go wrong with that, right? So here I'm going to show you. This is CoinGlass. So go to coinglass.com, and go to live charts. And on your live charts, go to CoinGlass indicators. So pick your coin, obviously, indicator. And here you can see we have, where is it? Give me a second. Sorry, not this one. So you go to normal indicators here, and you see this accumulation distribution right on the top. Just use that, all right, and then put it on whatever time frame you want to put it on. And you can actually see what the market's doing, right? So here we can see the funding rates. They're kind of low right now compared to where they were two days ago, where we did peak up. So if I show you this properly, you can see how we peaked up all of a sudden, massive spike. That's what caused the crash. Yesterday it was down a little bit, now it's coming down, but it's not, you can see how we have these massive spikes. This is like an average, and then all of a sudden we have these massive spikes, right? So those are the times when we need to be worried, and that's how we get wiped out. So we can see the funding rate. So now you can also see the funding rate. We're going to see open interest. What happened? Remember, look, open interest was the highest. Sorry. Yeah, here, let's get this here. Open interest was the highest ever in history of Bitcoin. The open interest was the highest ever in the history of Bitcoin on a daily, right? And of course, yesterday it dumped down, came back down here. Is this the end? No, I mean, it can come down a little bit more, but this doesn't really matter. It's just showing us basically what the sentiment was. Everybody was excited, super interested. Let's go, let's do this. But they didn't realize you're on a peak. When you have a peak, you've just created a brand new all-time high on the open interest. Well, history should teach you a lesson that every time you hit a peak, you're going to hit the floor. You hit a peak, you hit the floor. But you know what? Call yourself fortunate that we didn't have this event that we had in May. Just call yourself fortunate we haven't had that. Because this is what happened in May when we saw a repeat of this. We saw an $11 billion dump liquidation event. A massive liquidation event. Here we only had like, what, 700 million? I think if you include even today, that's like $1 billion. You should be happy. You're still here. You're still above this candle. Because the moment it falls below this, you're going to the bottom. So again, greed needs to be controlled. If greed isn't controlled, then unfortunately, this is the kind of stuff you see. So let's hope this pattern, this area is held up for us, so we can move up and continue. And let's hope people don't get too greedy on the trades, the options, and all the other leverage stuff. Let's hope they don't, right? So again, on liquidations, you can see liquidations. Who's getting mostly liquidated? We can see a lot of bulls are getting liquidated, bears, some of them, of course, pretty balanced compared to what you look here. You can see a lot here, but if you look over a few days on an average, pretty equal, I would say. I think there's a battle going on, who wants to win. Everyone's betting down, assuming the market's going to go down even further. I don't think so, because the thing is look, we're at that time and point of Bitcoin cycle, and I'll show you this in a bit. Let me just refresh the chat, guys. Well, in this part of the cycle where anything could happen, right? And I don't think the boys want it to go down anymore. The big boys, the whales, they don't want it to go down anymore, because it would be stupid to let this market go down when you're in such a great level. And they realize that it takes time. Okay, so again, long versus shorts, you can see longs are up. That's not really a good metric to see, but this is what we want to show you. So this is accumulation, distribution, accumulation, distribution, and here you can see which day is what. It was quite cool to actually observe this, right? So you can see we came into this this area here, we peaked out. Right, and I'm showing this on a daily because obviously when you open the whole thing up, it becomes wild, right? So you can see we were at the top, constantly moving at the top, right? We're in the distribution phase. Every time we peak down, we're in accumulation phase. So right now we know we're actually sitting in an accumulation phase. And we can see this demonstrated, like for example, if we try and see if we can get the time. Yeah, here you go. So you can see how what was this? On the 7th of November, we entered the accumulation phase. And then since then, we've been going up. And now we're moving back into these. So every time you see a dip like this, you should understand that this is an accumulation phase. And you will see how this and this stochastic RSI both actually kind of match, right? Obviously, for the stochastic RSI, you're going to be waiting for the stochastic RSI to come back below this area, this blue area, for you to start buying or dollar cost averaging or whatever. But that could be at any price. You don't really know, are we actually in a distribution phase or are we actually in an accumulation phase? Well, now you can use this to actually guide you and say, well, look, this is the peak, so this is a distribution phase, it's going to come down, and this is accumulation phase, it's going to go up. So by using two of these indicators, and you can actually use them in what's it called, on the trading view as well, you can use that, and this is trading view anyway. I recommend use both of them, right? Use the stochastic RSI, use the accumulation distribution as well, in order for you to understand what phase you're in and kind of get a confirmation that, okay, that's where we're in right now, and that will make total sense to you. So yeah, I mean, so far everything seems awesome. I'm not even gonna bother with half of this stuff because it won't show up on the weekly or anything, because we can only see it on a daily. So now I want to show you on a weekly something. Weekly, this is two lines here. This is a 21 week and the 50 week. Not the 50, sorry. Yeah, 50. So we've got 21 and 50. And what I want to show you is this, like, with the VPVR, right? So as you can see with the VPR, the volume profile, right? So we can see where most of the value was, where most of the action was. And we can see a lot of action was actually around this specific area. Let me just draw that for you as well, so that will make total sense to you guys. Give me a second. Right, let's get this. So you can see around this area, right, this specific area here, we had a lot of action, around this area. Of course, we had more action around here. We're just using these areas to understand where the action was. So where we are right now, we can actually see it's actually not a bad area, because you can see from this curve here, it's actually not that much of a bad area. Okay, it's fresh, it's new, and if you compare, right, you can see there's not really much action here compared to these areas. I mean, these are like danger zones, guys. These are danger zones. So we don't want to fall below them. That's how we want to understand this. We don't want to fall below them. So yes, it's bearish. Okay, looks really crazy. Even on a daily, right? You can see, as long as we do not fall below this zone, because this is like the battle zone, the battle area. So this particular area, when we look at this area here, let me get rid of this. So that's why I don't like using third-party charts. I prefer using what's it called, trading view. But anyway, just to kind of show you, you can see this area here, and you can see this area, complete battle zone, undecided. It's more like, I mean, this was definitely a accumulation phase. We can see this was definitely an undecided area for where the market should go. Of course, the market's come back here, but is it going to hold? That's what we need to find out. As long as we can hold this area, we're fine. So you can see this area is pretty much from this 63,000 all the way to $60,000. Pretty cool. Now, I spoke to, I think it was Mac the other day on the channel, He was on the live stream and he suggested something like 60k, and I do have an order for 60k. You know, at around that level, he was I do, you know, I said I will. So I have an order around there. But I also had an order around the 63 because I did say after he left, I said I'm going to also be more cautious and I'll probably have around the 63. So I do, and I think that one's probably, order's probably filled. Awesome. So, you know, there's no harm, dollar cost averaging. Something's moving down, dollar cost averaging, no worries. So let's go into my charts, the one I'm really comfortable with, right? In my simple chart, I know it looks kind of messy sometimes, but it makes more sense to me. So let's go into this and have a look at some of the other stuff, right? So we've got total market cap, massive dump, no problem. Finding rejection, no problem. Holding above this support zone. That's what matters more than anything else. I see Yamvi here. Awesome. What is your opinion on this extended cycle? Do you expect 100k in the next months this year? Yamvi, extended cycle. I think you got the wrong end of it. Okay, extended cycle means we could be in this bull run for another 5 years. We could be in this bull run for another year, another 2 years. That's what an extended cycle means. Means that every time we've previously had a cycle, the cycle has been lengthening. Okay, there's a video actually on my channel called lengthening cycle, right? What's it called? Diminishing return and lengthening cycle, right? And I demonstrated this on another chart. I don't know if I demonstrated it here. Let me just double check, because I did demonstrate it on an actual chart on a video. I think this is the one that I used. Yeah, I think this is the one that I actually used to show everybody how it works. Yeah, I think this is the one that we used. I'm sure this is the one. Yeah, I think this is the one we did all that calculation and everything, and we said, look, the difference between certain times and the lengths, if you just calculate the number of days, you can see how many days. And this was actually the same video. When I did that, I used the same chart when I did the prediction of the date. When I did the 18th of or something, what was it? Let me just double check, guys. It's still here. 19th of July and the 18th of October. I actually used that same chart for the lengthening cycle to calculate the day, because I added a specific number to the cycle. And I said, that's probable, right? And that's how I managed to get these dates. And that was based on previous cycles. And I think the cycles can go longer, as I've said quite a few times. You know, even on this channel, I have said it quite a few times. What the hell is going on here? Where the hell are we? Where? Oh, sorry. Am I on the wrong chart? No, I'm on the right chart. So what happened here? Interesting. Somehow all my stuff is gone. Interesting. Okay. So it doesn't matter. Let's just stay there. That's fine. So when we're talking about lengthening cycles, I mentioned it a few times that it could easily, and I'll show you what I mean by this, right? And I think it will make total sense to you. Let me get rid of the volume. Let me get rid of everything. In fact, I think it will be quite wise for me to even refresh this, guys. Give me a second. Let me refresh this, because it's probably just bugged out. I've got some of my drawings and everything missing as well. Now we're back. Okay, let's do this. Let's do it this way. AUMAX. So let's go back to BTC. I think that was, yeah, that will bring all my drawings back, because I need my drawings. I just want to show you something quite simple, so just bear with me. I'm just going to show you something very, very simple, where we are and where we're going to go, based on certain fundamentals, nothing else, right? Or just certain metrics that we're going to see on the chart. I hope this all kind of makes sense to you. Right, let's do this. Right. So just imagine where we are right now. Just say from this is our bottom, right? Because we did have a double bottom here, just the bottom here, right? We can take this bottom and use it, because this one would be the next cycle. So let's just use this area here and start doing a calculation and say, well, if this is the case, where can it particularly take us? So we just use this. Sorry, my bad. I used the wrong one. I used the projection one. This is the one, right? So we just carry this area here, and you see we get this pattern here. And if we just copy this pattern and put it down here on this line, or even here where we are right now, you can see that this is telling us, based on this pattern, and you know, we can draw all sorts of crazy stuff to see if the pattern is accurate, and you can see the pattern is accurate, right? It tells us that we could see a top potentially around March, potentially. So this is not guaranteed, potentially around March. Now, I have spoken about something, and I think that would make sense. If we end up having a curve like this, well, there's nothing suggesting that we need to stop here. And what I'm going to show you will make some sense. Let me show you something. Actually, let me get it on weekly, guys, because it will be easier for me to show more data on shorter candles, right? So just going to show something. All right, let's show this. So I'm going to show this area here. So this was the bottom of 2013 cycle, and this was the top of 2013 cycle. So if I just copy this over, right, so I'm just copying this over to show you guys, and I'm just going to put it on the bottom of this, just like how this one worked out, right? Yeah, bottom of this. It doesn't even work. Actually, let me put it here or something. No, it doesn't work. Okay, let's just do it like this. Forget it. I'll come back to this. Even this is suggesting around that March area, right? If we use the 2013 cycle, of course, if I then change a few things and I say, well, what if we had a 2017 or 2018 or this whole 2019 cycle here? Things do change. I mean, it depends on how many metrics you're using, how you want to move forward with this. So this is the 2017 cycle. If I take this, I'll change some colors for you. And if I lay this here as well, just on that area, you can see this one's actually a lot better. It gives us the August 2022 to be the microcycle top, right? And remember, the top line could be anything. Over time, it's constantly growing about $1,000 a week, right? So we know there's an increase of $1,000 a week. So anything could happen. For a lengthening cycle, all we need to do, and this is the best pattern here, by the way, if you look carefully, I'll show you this. This is one of the best patterns here. Let me put a white line on it, just so you understand. Look at this. It's one of the best patterns because it has a lot more flat. You know, it's a lot more flatter, the way it works. This one's too parabolic. This one I think is bad. This is not bad. The one we're currently in is actually quite cool, right? It's actually quite cool. So I would definitely keep an eye on that. However, if we are following this trajectory, and it looks very similar. I mean, if you just look at this, if I just take this off, look at this. They look very similar. I mean, the patterns, okay, remember we were sitting at a few $100s to a few $1,000, but this eerily looks very similar. You know what I mean? If you look at the pattern, and this is, look, overlaid, a pattern that's overlaid on a different pattern, it looks very similar. So yes, we're doing a combo of 2013 and 2015. However, both those cycles lasted like 1.5 year, 2 year. You know, this one has already lasted 3 years, because remember I told you guys, this bull market started here. This whole bull market, for me at least, right, according to me, you know, this is the bull market. If you calculate this area here, I mean, this point of time here, this was when it reversed. So if you calculate just this area here to where we are, this has all been the bull market. Sorry, I used the wrong one. This has all been the bull market. So we've been, since this candle here up to the current candle, right, just say current candle, we've been in this bull run for 993 days, almost 3 years. You know what I mean? That's how I've placed it. I said, look, this was the candle that gave us that confirmation that now we've reversed the trend, and since then we've been there. You know what I mean, right? Why is it doing percentage? Oh yeah, days are there. So you can see the days there, 952 days. We've been in it for a very long time, but this could easily go for another 6 months to another year, another 2 years. Nothing's stopping it. Nothing's stopping it. But only thing we need is the curve, right? Our pattern, our trend to stay. 1 second. Our trend has to stay as flat as possible. As flat as possible. So if we can follow this trajectory, you know, where, you know, as you can see here, for example, I mean, we have two here. So for example, we have this one here, which is slightly more steep. And if we have this one a little bit more flat, we should be able to last in it for a very long time. Very, very long time. Okay. So, yeah, guys, just remember, keep an eye You know, especially the way I'm doing it, I just do it on a log. It's up to you how you do it. Obviously, everybody has their own technique of doing it. But I'm feeling that this pattern here could easily repeat here. Remember, we always go up and down, very in a very similar way. We go up to come down once, and so far I'm seeing one, you know, one up, down one, up one. So that means there should be a down, up, and so on and so forth, right? But yeah, it looks very similar. That's what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, wow, this bounce here is this bounce here. This bounce here is this bounce here. This bounce here is this bounce here. Do you know what I mean? It just, the pattern itself just looks too familiar. But yeah, I wouldn't call it a exact duplicate, but definitely, look, history doesn't repeat all the time. However, it does rhyme. And you can clearly see here how it's rhyming. You know, we've had different data sets back in history in the past, and currently we have new data sets. But if we just overlay them on top of each other, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this massive curve, you know. So that's that. I hope this answers your question. 100k is definitely coming, bro. I mean, for me, I have a sell order every week. I'm adjusting my sell order. So I started when it was 114k. Last week I took it to 117k, and look, sitting at 170k. This line here is moving up constantly. So while the market's still trending, my targets are still getting higher. You know, of course, for us to stay bullish, we need to stay above one specific area, right? And I think that will make more sense right now. Look, see this area here, this blue line here. Whatever happens, we cannot fall below this, because below this is usually what's known as a bear market. Below this, price action doesn't do any favors to anybody, because you can see it's ruthless. Below this is ruthless. You wouldn't know when we can fall below this. No worries, Yamvi. Awesome, my brother. It's just, look, patterns. That's what it is. You see these patterns, right? It's brilliant patterns. But anyway, for us to be in a you know, become all bearish and probably drag this along a few more months, we could be here. But the best part is if we can hold these and say for the next, let me just do that. I think this is going to make it easy. I'm going to love this one, right? This is going to be really cool. So imagine this, right? I'm just going to say it this way. If we can spend 4 weeks on each line, 4 weeks on each line, that tells us that we can have, you know, 4 weeks here, 4 weeks here, 4 weeks here. That's 3 months. That's 4 months. Or assuming we spend on, you know, we find a pattern that says, okay, we spend approximately, you know, 5 weeks or 6 weeks around this level. So for example, how many weeks did we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Bloody hell, we had 13 weeks above this line. So if we are to just halve this, just say 6 weeks here, 6 weeks here, that's 3 months. 6 weeks here, 6 weeks here, that's 6 months. 6 weeks here, 6 weeks here, that's 9 months. So if we can find some sort of a pattern and say, okay, we're going to spend this many weeks on these particular zones, so in between these zones, and we can easily just place a hypothetical maths and say that's possible. Do you know what I mean? So that should be really cool. But as I said, let's not get below this line. We have gone above the line before, above the top line before. We stayed there before May. You can see we need to get above this, we need to break above this, and we need to get there. The longer we take to do it, better for us. We're going to make more money. 100k is nothing if it can stay around these little levels, you know, 65, 70, 75, and just creep up slowly. Take a long time to get there. It's going to be awesome. And I can tell you, around this area here, everyone's going to have their sell orders, but I've got my sell order around here. And the approximate 1800 people that follow this channel, if they watch it on time, they should also be able to get out before everybody else. Because I'm one of those, I'm very cautious. In fact, yesterday somebody made a comment about the emergency alert I did. And I was like, did you even watch the video? Did you even understand that I was actually having a joke with someone? And on top of that, I did tell them, the guys, it's an emergency, but don't panic. So he's like, your thing is misleading. Seriously? I'm not the guy who's putting thumbnails with $20 million on it. I mean, go and watch Tone Vase. He put $20 million, and then the hypocrite started telling someone else, oh, your thumbnails are misleading, the clickbait. I'm not doing clickbait. Most of my thumbnails are the same. Most of my titles are bloody same. Anyway, good luck to him. That's what I said. But yeah, this is where I'm going to be exiting. This is my zone. You know, I don't care if it goes to $1 million right now, but this is my zone. You know, of course, if you have conviction, you're going to be in it for 5 years. Don't exit. Don't exit. It's fine. So, yeah. Right. Other than that, let's move into other stuff quickly and see what's going on in the market. Let's see what Ethereum's doing. So we talked about BTC. We talked a lot about BTC. Guys, if someone's trying to message me on Discord or anything like this, no luck, because I'm not going to open Discord now. Where are we? Okay, this is BTC. We did that holding trend. That's fine. We need to just stay above this. That's all it is, guys. As long as we stay above this trend line and above this box, we're fine. So I'm not going to look too far into this. Of course, it's dumping, it's doing things, it's holding support at the 1618. Everything seems awesome. But look, stochastic RSI and RSI both indicating that the market was overbought. It needs to calm down, reset. Now we're in the accumulation zone again. So everything looking awesome. BTC dominance, okay, I'm not going to bother too much about that. Ethereum holding trend. Remember, we had two different trend lines here, and Ethereum is holding the trend, so it's okay, no issues. It's holding the trend. You can see a shorter trend line, and you can see this slightly bigger trend line, but definitely holding that shorter trend line. So awesome. Again, great opportunity to buy, and bounced, and you know, you can see it's relaxing. The support was exactly on this 1618 we did. So it's definitely on trajectory to get to that $5,200 level. Just taking a little break every now and then. Again, look, RSI, stochastic RSI on all of them is a bit down. So we know the trading emotion is down, but whose fault is it? You're going to go high leverage, you're going to get raked. So sad. Dot holding, when is it? Dot parachains, I believe, opened yesterday. Yeah, dot parachains opened yesterday, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on dot parachains to see what's going on, because it's gonna carry on for the next 45 days. Yeah, Solana taking a dip, holding trend, nothing to concern about. Yeah, even Cardano holding trend, not bad. So stayed above the line, ain't complaining. There has been some serious dumps, but there has been a good few holds that I've had. So for example, we've seen Anchor pump today 7%, awesome. We've seen Engine pump about 4%, awesome, lovely little recovery. We've seen Sand pump a little bit. We've seen Mana pump a little bit. We've even seen Tomo coming back to hold that support range. Very cool here. We've seen Ramp, and these are really small caps. Like, you know, these are like the coins that people don't talk about, right? We've seen TLM coming in for a little bounce, God knows why. We've seen FIO, and just looking at FIO, give me a second, guys. What the looking at FIO, see this area here? This is a blatant consolidation zone. This is a blatant consolidation zone. So this thing's gonna break out, right? It's gonna break out, and you can see the pattern here, right? If you look carefully, you'd see this is the area it just needs to break out of. So it's getting ready for this bounce up. So that's going to be pretty awesome to see. XEC, the coin Tamil Gamer bought me. So Tamil Gamer put this on my attention, and yeah, it's doing pretty cool. It was in this particular zone. This was the support zone. It's held the support zone. It finally broke out of support. Really cool. Also, if I look at the RSI, in a perfect zone. Stochastic, not quite, but RSI is in a definite great zone, and I think it's going to pump. And funnily, I'm in profit now. So when what was it, Tamil Gamer mentioned it, I did buy some, just enough. And finally today, because I bought it around here, today I'm actually in profit. I'm actually in green, if that makes any sense. So that's really cool. I'm happy with that. I mean, I'll take that 7% any day. Anything is better than nothing. This is one I don't talk about much, because it kind of, I mean, for me to tell you guys, it's one of those I bought some time ago, and I just felt it would be wrong to talk about it, because it kind of broke out. So, and you know, it just pumped already, and I was like, oh. and it's one of those really risky ones, if that makes sense. It's a really risky one. However, it is getting ready. So DVI, if you want to look at it, go and do your own research on that one. I just feel it's a bit risky, and I don't know. That's the reason why I've never actually told anyone about it. There's going to be a lot more coins that, you know, I hold or things like this, but I don't tell people just because I feel they're dangerous. They're dangerous. PLA doing good right now. Was a perfect time to pick up the bounce. It broke out, it done its thing, similar to DVI, but holding support now, and you can see we do have a second target for us, so that's a really cool thing to look at. There's one coin I've been looking at, and I think I can recommend it. XYO. Now, I have suggested it to a few people before, on the private members and paid members. I mean, some of the guys from the private groups, I did mention it to them. I don't know where it's going. I'm not heavily invested in it personally, but I do think it's got a good fortune. But then again, my whole idea is I don't want to really lock the money into something. I just want to move forward with it and see where it goes. So let's see about that. And also, guys, I'm getting quite a few calls. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end the stream because I do have a few bits and bobs I need to do, and see where we go from there. But yeah, we'll talk about Paradex on another one. Of course, once all the confirmation's done, once all the website and everything is up, I will share the links with everybody publicly. You can go and have a read. I'm not going to have a white paper or anything like this. We're probably just going to have some sort of a simple light paper, or a roadmap, maybe just something like this, just so you can understand what's going on. And the tokenomics, obviously, you need to understand those. But that's it. We're not going to do anything because we're not doing a crowd sale. Does that make sense? We're not doing an ICO. No, we're not doing any of that business. We're not selling anything to you guys. It's going to be a fair launch, right? You lock a certain amount of whatever crypto into a pool, and you're providing liquidity. In order for that liquidity, you get the equivalent amount of whatever you've put in as a reward. That's it. You know, very simple. It's going to be like a launch pool. So it's going to be in a pool, and there's going to be a basket of currencies that can go into that pool, and whatever those are, you get the equivalent amount back in Paradex token. And we do have a ticker. I'm not telling you anymore. Not yet, but that's where it's going to be, and you're just providing liquidity, nothing else. And then the system or the market itself decides how much the price is, and then from that point onwards, it goes off on its own with its own price. So in the beginning, it will be X amount of BNB is X amount of Paradex coin, and that's the value, that's the price. And then it's going to move off and hopefully do its own little thing. Not hopefully, definitely. So that's that. So I would definitely talk a little bit more about that if I do have time. But right now, as I said, I've got a few calls coming in. I'm not sure why. Let me go and catch them. But remember, guys, market's just doing its thing. I think right now we're on Thursday. Friday's going to be a little bit shitty as well. Let's see how the weekend plays out. I think we're going to really have to observe this during the weekend. I think it's going to be important because there's a lot of whales out there, a lot of institutions out there, and I'm seeing a lot of manipulation. And sadly, it's part of the game. It doesn't matter whether in crypto, you're in stocks, wherever you are. There's manipulation everywhere. So this is happening right now. Politics, you name it, everything manipulation. So we got to wait and see. I think Saturday, Sunday is when the retail, us, the people, we take control, and hopefully we can move it back. It's an ongoing battle, institutions versus retails, you know. And the more we battle with these guys, and the more we can control the market, we're winning. They're losing. Remember, they have lost the battle, right? When everybody says we're never going back to 20K. And we went to $20,000 and won, or even $21,000. They already lost the battle. These are the experts who said we're never going back. That was it. Bitcoin was going to the grave. You know. And here today we're sitting at 64K right now. I mean, just look at it. 64K. They lost the battle already. Now they're trying everything to take your crypto off you, your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your Solana, everything that they've ever dissed, they want it. and there's 14,000 of those. So awesome. Thank you very much, guys. As I said, look, I'm going to catch you guys on another one very soon, or tomorrow probably. So yeah, I hope this stream was valuable, helpful. I'm sure there wasn't too much in there, but I just thought I'd catch you guys up a little bit and talk about it and see where it goes. And of course, let you guys understand the market's just doing its thing. Don't worry, just chill out. It's not really doomsday. I know a lot of people think it's doomsday. I know some people even think it's going to go below 60k or even 60k. I told you on a stream the other day, I don't believe that. However, I do have buy orders. Why not? I have buy orders at the 60, the 58, 57. You know, I've got buy orders, but I don't project it. I don't see it happening. For me, I'm more comfortable with 63, 64, 66. I'm more comfortable. I want to get it on the way up, because what's the point me buying it at 60 if it's just going to go back to 50? Doesn't make any difference. And I know a lot of people don't understand that kind of a method. I'm like, why would I want to buy something if I believe something's gone from 70 to 60? What's saying it's not going to go to 50? So why would I want to buy it? I'd rather just wait. I want to buy on the way up. I don't want to buy on the way down. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, other than that, like, share, subscribe, share with one another if you find value. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in Discord. And also, guys, remember, if you're new to the channel, we do have a Discord server where you can get all this information. Of course, I'm going to be sending a lot more information about Paradex as soon as we progress with certain stuff. So yeah, definitely a lot of shilling going on for Paradex, but there's a reason, guys. It's going to be awesome. A public launched decentralized exchange with a fair launch. You can't go wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? There's no price, there's no sales, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's no money involved, right? Well, there's crypto involved, but that's going into liquidity. Do you know what I mean? So it can't be more fair than this. And this is one of the reasons why I am definitely shilling it. Compared to some of the big boys out there who sold their tokens, we are not interested in selling anything. It's going to be a fair launch. That's how it has to be. Decentralization to the max. So other than that, guys, adios, my amigos. I'll see you on another one.